Guys, this is Riggs. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I have been working so long, so hard on this video. I really hope you guys enjoy it. Hopefully you find it helpful. What we're talking about is thirsting etiquette. I'm gonna go ahead and explain what it is. Some of this is gonna be funny. Some of this is dead serious. So let's go ahead and get right into it. And I got a bunch of examples of when you should and should not thirst. But before we do that, we need to explain this quick diagram. So basically, what is thirsting, or what it means to thirst? It says, thirst is a verb to kill someone when they are knocked or down despite imminent danger of getting killed by their teammate. That's what it means to thirst, but it gets a lot more deeper than that. So the first question, or the first thing that happens, is you knock someone. Now we have to ask ourselves some questions. So the first question is one of their teammates nearby? If the answer is no, you thirst. If you answer yes to that question, is one of their teammates nearby, and the answer is yes, you have to ask yourself another question. Do you need their gear to win the next fight? This often happens in the very beginning of the circles. If the answer is yes, this is for survival, that means you have to thirst. If the answer is no, the next question is, have they already finished one of your down teammates? This is where we get into revenge thirsting. So if the answer is yes, have they already killed one of your teammates or thirsted them? If the answer is yes, it's all about payback. And don't worry, guys, I got examples of all of these. If the answer is no, are they blocking your ability to get into cover? This also has to do with survival, your life or theirs. This often happens when, say, you knock someone, they're blocking a doorway, or they're blocking your path to get behind another object. So if they are blocking, it's thirst. If they're not, it is no. So hopefully I really hope you guys enjoy this video. Let's go ahead and get right into it. All right, guys, let's go ahead and jump right into this. After we explain the diagram, I'm telling you guys, this video is going to be action-packed. Notice Don goes ahead and gets knocked. I return the favor by knocking the enemy. It's all about getting your teammates or your squad mates up. Notice I didn't run into the other room. I didn't try to get greedy and go ahead and get the thirst just to get the kill while I have an enemy teammate down. Here's another guy, so we go ahead and take him out. Now we have two people inside of that room knocked. So now we're going to go ahead and bandage up. We don't know exactly where everybody in the enemy team is. That's something very important, is knowing everyone's position. This guy's going to go ahead and go down the stairs. We go ahead and notice I went ahead and thirsted in that situation solely based on the fact that he was going to get out of my line of sight. I would not be able to see him, so I go ahead and I get the thirst. Same thing with there. That guy goes ahead, almost takes me out, almost takes Don out. So we go ahead and we wipe him. We get the thirst. Now we go ahead and get the revive. All right, here is some more examples. And those were some examples of when you shouldn't necessarily thirst right away. When you knock someone, it's not always going to be the best option to go ahead and take them out. Notice in this case, I go ahead and I get the knock with the M24. The reason why I went ahead and took a couple more shots to get the thirst is because he could have easily gone behind the car or behind the rock where he could have been picked up. And it's all about removing basically taking the weapons out of the enemy's hands. Because if we're fighting 4 people, we get one knocked, we go ahead and get the thirst from a very long distance. Now there's only 3 guns firing at us as opposed to 4. So for the most part, when you guys are engaging people in when you're having long engagements like this one, we're using a 6X or an 8X. If you're able to knock somebody, and you can thirst them from a very long distance before they can get revived. Usually it's, before they can get behind cover. It's always going to be a good option to go ahead and thirst them. So we go ahead and we get another knock right there. At this point, I don't even know how many squads we're fighting. Pretty sure that was a bot right there. But these are not. So we're gonna go ahead and get another knock. And we know we still have at least a pair that's behind that rock. Same thing with him. He was gonna go to try to crawl back to cover. So we go ahead and take a couple shots and we thirst him because we're not in immediate danger. Notice we're not being shot at, or at least, for the time being. And we can easily get the thirst. And like I said, it's about taking the weapons out of the enemy's hands. Check this out. Notice I said I believe there's a pair behind the rock. So we'll go ahead. There's the AK iron sight. And we go ahead and get the knock with the frag. So now there's 2 people left in the squad. I don't know how many times we have gone back and forth. But notice this guy, he was trying to crawl back to cover. So that was a solid reason to thirst right there. There's no point of leaving that guy up. And we don't exactly know the position of every single enemy. So there's just some examples. If it's a long engagement, it's always good to go ahead and thirst them, as long as you're not endangering your own life in doing so. All right, so here's going to be another example. Like I said, I really hope you guys, I had so much fun recording and making this video right here. So we're gonna be taking on this squad over here in Vikindi. We're in, where is this? Krichos? Yeah, we're in Krichos. Notice Rain goes ahead and gets 1 kill. He gets a thirst. Notice we go ahead and get a knock. Notice I'm not thirsting him because I don't know the exact position of every single person in the enemy team. Here goes the next person. Notice we pick up the 2 kills. There was no reason to go ahead and burn through our ammo, especially early game, to try to take that dude out. And again, it's all about knowing where the other enemy is. All I saw was that guy. We go ahead and we get the knock. And quickly, sometimes this happens in just a couple seconds, you guys. Trying to, within seconds, download the information of where all of the enemies are. Sometimes, you have time to think. Sometimes you don't. You have to act almost on instinct. So I didn't want to go ahead and get the thirst and give up too much of my position. I want to go ahead and sniff out where the other enemy was. All right, so notice we go ahead and we get the knock. And like I said, it's all about picking up your teammate as long as you're not in any imminent danger. Notice that we are not being shot at. This is the dude that we knocked. Clearly, we were able to go ahead and clear that target. It's all about, guys, it's all about stopping the threat. And there's the other enemy. He was probably behind that house, but that was a solid way to go ahead and get that thirst, as opposed to leaving him up. And remember, a lot of these guys are on voice, so he could be telling them our position. He could be telling them if we're healing, what exactly we're doing. So, that was a good reason to go ahead and thirst right there. All right, so now we're in one of the final circles, or the final circle here in Miramar. Notice this guy is about to crawl behind cover. I wanted to get the thirst. This would have been a good example of getting the thirst, but we were not able to. We do identify that there is one enemy behind that little brick or that cement concrete building right there. And then there we go. Notice that Yossi does end up getting the thirst on the guy that I knocked. But again, you don't want to give up your position too much, especially it's very, very critical where you have to think on the fly in these final circles, whether you should go ahead and get the thirst or not. Because in these small circles, these tight circles, it's very easy to give up your position. Notice he goes ahead and gets fragged. That wasn't a thirst. That was just a solid chicken dinner. That was a really, really intense game right there. But we ended up getting the victory, not getting too selfish. You do not want to get too selfish with some of these thirsts right here. Now, as you guys saw on the diagram, what we mean by revenge thirst. Notice that Cloud goes ahead and gets knocked and thirsted immediately while I was on my way to go ahead and pick him up in the police car. Now we have 2 of the enemies knocked right here. Here's the 3rd one. This dude had no idea where I was. We went ahead and took him out. So now that's 3 knocked. We have 1 to go. And now, like I said, I want to give you guys an example of a revenge thirst. Where you don't necessarily have to thirst them in this situation, but just to really piss them off. I mean, this is low-hanging fruit right here. Like I said, we have 3 guys up. I do not know exactly where the 4th guy in this squad is, because we got 3 knocked. So right here, this guy's just standing, or not standing, but but just knocked right behind that tree. Did we have to go ahead and thirst him? Not necessarily. Here's a guy pretty much in the freaking bushes over here. We go ahead and get that guy thirsted. Now we've identified, he went ahead and took a couple shots at me. This is the last guy in that squad. I know for a fact the other dude that was knocked is to the right of me. Notice that I'm not thirsting him. There's no reason to. We've already identified, he's knocked. His gun is taken out of play. Pretty much it's just 1v1 right now. We already got the revenge thirst on the other 2 guys. And here he's going to go ahead and peek just slightly, on the outside of this tree right here. Let's see if we can go ahead and cap him right here. There he goes. We end up getting him with the headshot, and we pick up the other kill. That dude was over here, I think, yeah, over here, like by the bushes or something. But those were some examples. Those were some good engagements of when to thirst or even when not to thirst. But they were all good examples. Here are some bad examples. Notice right here, not only do I have 0 health, I go ahead and I take this guy out. Look at my health, you guys. I have nothing. I did 2 bad things there. I tried to thirst him, then I reloaded, then I finished the thirst, then I looted him all before healing. Those were 2 bozo no-nos that I should not have done right there. But, and it was mainly, the main thing in that situation was about positioning. Check this out. This was a freaking, this was not only a revenge thirst. We're going to slow this down. Look at this guy. Notice he's thirsting my teammate before he has identified where I was. This wasn't a mistake on my part. This was a mistake on his. Because now he thirsted my teammate with an open door before identifying where I was. Because all he had to do was knock my teammate, get position, kind of hold them hostage, bait them a little bit, and then have an engagement. But instead, he got selfish, and he ends up getting knocked and killed. Here's another example of the exact same thing happening. Check this out. We're trying to push this 2-story in my favorite drop, a hotspot in Erangel. Check this out. So he goes ahead and thirsts my teammate from inside that little room right there without identifying where he was. Notice that I knocked him. So check this out. He got selfish. He thirsted. We went ahead and get the knock. Notice we didn't thirst him. We identify his freaking teammate came jumping in like freaking Bugs Bunny, and we go ahead and we get the wipe. I really, really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and with all of my videos, I really hope you found it helpful. Check out that diagram. All you have to do is Google it. I think I can leave a link to it down in the description so you guys can check it out, or take a screenshot of it to look at it. Like I said, some of this stuff, was all for fun and games, but some of this is very serious stuff. Often people will get very, very, well, no pun intended, they'll get very, very thirsty, and they'll go ahead and they want to secure that kill so bad that it ends up costing them their own lives in a match. And that's the last thing you want to do. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, definitely do me a big favor and leave it a like. Of course, I'm very active in the comment section, so feel free to leave a comment down below. Yeah, you guys are freaking amazing. Thank you so much for all the love and support you're showing me and the channel. But until the next video, you guys, this has been Riggs from Riggs Gaming.